I'm going to give you guys 3 reasons why I don't go to church every Sunday. Um, today's Sunday, right? Happy Sunday. Um, Hope you guys are doing well today. If you did go to church, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy the word from whoever your pastor is and everything like that. I hope church is great for you today, right? But unfortunately, I didn't go to church today. And I don't go, and I still go to church. Don't get me wrong. I don't, I don't go consistently like I used to, right? I'm gonna give you guys 3 reasons why I don't do that, right? But before I do that, I'm gonna tell you guys a little story, right? Growing up, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, right? I'm from St. Louis. I grew up going to Friendly Temple Ministry Baptist Church, right? If you're from St. Louis, man, put that. If you heard of that church, put that in the comment section. If you've heard of that, um, that's where I grew up going. Right, I used to be a usher up there. I used to be a usher. My dad, he's a usher too, but my dad, he literally works up at the church. Right, he's a usher. He's a security guard. He sings in a choir. He does it all. Right. So my dad, he's been doing it for years. I don't know how long he's been doing it. But my dad, he has his whole life is consistent, right? He got a consistent schedule with his job, so he can be able to do these things, right? To do what he want to do, right? Because so yeah, guys. But yeah, my dad, he does all of that stuff at the church, Friendly Temple. He still sorry about that, y'all. So yeah, he does. Man, before I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Before this, I was gonna use my tripod. I had my phone on my tripod, but it's so damn windy out here, man, and it knocked it over. So I had to restart the video. So that kind of pissed me off a little bit, but I'm cool now. So but yeah. Anyway, guys, yeah, my dad he does it all, man. He sings in the choir. He's a usher. He does so. Um, and I used to be an usher too, man. So it was great. It was a great experience, right? It was great giving people communion, like giving people wine and the bread every first Sunday. That's what we usually do. We give out wine and bread every first Sunday. We used to wear like white suits and stuff like that. So it was great, man. Church, it was a great experience. Me growing up, and I stopped doing it because I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. So my church, Friendly Temple, right? So we used to have 2 services, right? We used to have a 7:30 a.m. service and a 10:30 a.m. service, right? So I used to, so I made a video about, man, waking up early, right? And guys, that was one of the things that I used to hate waking up, right? So I remember one time, man, I was sitting down. So the ushers, we all wear suits and everything, right? So the ushers, we wear suits and a tie and everything like that. So all the ushers would sit in the front row at our church, right? And it was a 7:30 a.m. service, right? Man, I fell asleep. I sort of fell asleep. My dad was like, "Man, nah, you can't do." It didn't happen just one time. It happened a few times. My dad was like, "Nah, you can't be sleeping on it on the what we used to call our deacon. So usher and deacon is the same thing, right? So you can't be doing like this on the usher or deacon board. You can't be sleeping up there, man. You gotta be up." And my dad, he took me off of there, man, and uh, you know, but it was a great experience, man. It was a great experience. And sometimes I used to not like it. And I remember one time, um, my dad told me just come at 10:30, just do the 10:30 service. And I used to come with my mom. Instead of me sitting up to the front, I can go sit by my mother. Man, when it was time to like give our offering, man, I was so mad. I didn't even. I was mad. I'm like, man, he was like, Jay, come on, you got to go do offering. My dad wanted me to come do offering. I did not want to do it. I was so upset that I had to do offering, man, because I didn't want to get up out that seat by my mom. I didn't want to do it. Um, but as I get older, man, I'm like, man, looking back, it was actually a great experience, man. It was a great experience. Like just serving people, serving the church. Like it was amazing. As I'm older now, thinking back on it, when I was little, I didn't like it, but as I'm older, man, I wish I could still do it. But I don't go to church consistently, right? Um, and I'm gonna give you guys why, right? Here and soon. So I'm just giving you guys a little background story here. And so I stopped going to Friendly Temple, and I met a girl back in college. I went to Missouri Baptist University. I know I mentioned that before. I used to. I met a girl, right, and she was like, "Hey, you want to go to church with me one day?" I was like, "Sure." When? She was like, it's on a Sunday, like Um, and yeah, we went up there. We went to church. It's called Faith Church. I don't know if you guys ever been there, heard of it. It's not only in St. Louis, in like other cities as well, like Florida, Illinois. I forget what part of Illinois it is. Um, but yeah, Faith Church is great. It was great. When I when I went there with her, it was great. I enjoyed it. I've been going for 3 years now. I've been going ever since I went with her. So yeah, it was great. And but I stopped going consistently, right? I just stopped going consistently, right? Um, so you, you know, church is amazing. Don't get me wrong, man. Church is amazing. If you go every Sunday, I'm not bashing nobody that does. It's great. It's good to learn about the word. It's good to be a part of be with people around people to do praise and worship and learn about the word. But I feel like you don't need to go to the because yes, church is the house of the Lord. I still believe the church, it's a building too, but I still believe it's the house of the Lord. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, it's still a building. That I feel like earth is the house of the Lord. I think everything is the house of the Lord. That's why I say, man, this is God's world. Like the house of the Lord is the whole earth. That's me. That's why I think it's the house of the Lord. All right, so number one, I'm gonna give you. So now on to the reasons why I don't go to church consistently. So number one is because I feel like you don't need to go to again. You don't need to go to church. You don't need to go to the building or the house of the Lord to learn about the Word, to learn about the Bible. I feel like with technology and the internet nowadays, we can if you want to read the Bible, that's fine. But I feel like you can do it at home and learn at home and kind of look up and go to the internet like, hey, what does this really mean? What is it really saying? If you don't understand, that's what I do when I read something. I'm like, hold on, let me. What is this? What is it saying? What is it really saying? Right? When I look it up, so I'm like, okay, that's what it's saying. Right. So Philippians 4:13 is my favorite Bible verse. If you guys didn't know, that's my favorite Bible verse. Uh, I can do all things that that strengthens me. Right. So that resonates with me in life. Right. Um, that's why I like it so much because I feel like I can do anything I put my mind to. I wanted to start content, man. I'm like, man, block out the noise, block out the haters. I know it's gonna be people trying to troll me. It is what it is, man. I'm doing it anyway because I only got one life to live, right? So I'm doing everything on earth that I want to do because I only have one life to live, right? Nobody can do the things that I want to do but me. And if you don't believe in yourself, you got to believe in yourself too, and because nobody else gonna believe in you if you don't believe in yourself, right? So that's why Philippians 4:13 is my favorite Bible verse. But I kind of went into more. If you go look at my video, I kind of talked about that a little already. So go look that up. Um, go. It's already I already posted about Philippians 4:13, so you can go watch that for more detail. But yeah, guys, like I just feel like, man, you and also you guys can watch live streams on for church as well. You don't have to go, I feel like you don't have to go to the building to watch church. I'm not telling you you can't you can't go to the building, but I feel like, man, I think if you learn at home and you read the Bible on your own and kind of understand it for yourself, I think personally, I feel like that's better than going to the building. Um, because I feel like if you go to the, I feel like the best part of going to the building is the praise and worship. Not, I'm not saying that the pastor doesn't know what he's talking about in the word. That's what he does. That's his job. He's supposed to teach the word. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with going to the building and learn about the word from the pastor. But I feel like we can all learn this on our own too, right? So I feel like, man, if you pick up the Bible your own and you read, just read a verse, once a day or so, and kind of, if you don't understand what it's saying, go to the, you go to the internet. That's what the internet is for. You kind of, type in, hey, what is it saying? You can look it up, and it'll tell you. So I just feel like you don't need to go to the building for that, right? Um, so I think that's the first reason why. Second reason, man, is because you know my job schedule, right? Um, I know it's not really. I mean, I can work around that, right? But it be days, man. I don't be, I be wild if I'm working because I work overnights, right? I can definitely still go to church during the day, but it's just like sometimes I don't really feel like it because I'm tired from work because I work overnight. So, that's just a. Um, I'm not gonna get too much deep into that, but I just, I be tired sometimes, man. So I be like, man, instead of me going to church, I can go do something else. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna journal. I'm gonna go, make sure that the house is clean. I'm ready to get ready for work the next day or something like that. So it be that too. Um, so not nothing too much. No, I'm not gonna go deep into that one. So it's nothing. It's pretty self-explanatory with that one. Number three, right? So this is the book called The Purposeful Man Playbook. This is Malik David Lewis's book. Man, it changed my life, right? This is his hat, also purpose driven. That's why I worried a lot, to support him. He helped change my life, man. This book had, man, I feel like I encourage any man to go read this book, man, right? It changed my life, man. So I'm gonna read something that he said, and I'm like, you know what? I agree with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna read this. I underlined it too. So this is from the book Purposeful Man Playbook. I underlined it, right? He said in the book, it says, my relationship with God is continuous. Church isn't just a building or a scheduled service. Church is 24/7. People ask, do you go to church? I'm at church right now. I'm at church every second because it's always connected. This allows me to speak about God so freely, so easily. It's not intimidating. I'm not thinking about whether I'm going to say the wrong thing because he's talking through me. Man, when I read that, that hit. That hit different. That line hit different, man. So what he basically said, man, is like, man, church is 24/7, man. Like, it's not about just going to the building, man. Again, it's, it's not about just going to the building, man. There's nothing wrong with going to the building, right? But I feel like, man, church is every day. He's right about that. I feel like because I feel like a lot of people, I'm not judging people for it, right? I feel like a lot of people, have big egos about, when people ask, do you go to church, and you say no, people kind of get upset about that. Like, you don't go to church, man? People have that ego, thinking that they, since you don't go to church, they feel like they're better than you, and that's not right, right? You can, like I said, man, you can still learn about the word without going to the building. Yeah, you're going to church and all that, but what are you doing? What are your habits outside of going to the building every day? Are you hitting the gym? Are you reading? Are you journaling? Are you praying consistently? Right? We say we go to church, but we're not doing the things that we're supposed to do outside of that, right? That's what he's mean. What he mean by saying that, he's saying like, if you're living righteously out just outside of going to church every Sunday, you're in church, right? You're in church by your habits every day, right? You know what I'm saying? If you're living, if you're doing the right things, you're at church. But if you're doing, sin things, like things that are not the right, and people make mistakes. Don't get me wrong. People make, it's okay. We all make mistakes. We're not perfect, right? But if you continually make mistakes every day, if you continue to do the wrong things, you're not at church. You're just, that's the opposite of you know of church. That's the opposite of it. You know what I'm saying? Again, we're not perfect though. We're not perfect, right? We're all human. We're all gonna make mistakes. We're all gonna do, what I'm saying? So it's nothing wrong with that. But I just feel like, man, church is every day, man. You're you know, cause God gon' if you talk to God, that's if you talk to God, you sit down, God, and find what your purpose is in life, man. That's church, man. You're doing what you're sent here to do. That's church. It's more than just a building every day, man. So, or every Sunday. So, um, I feel like Malik is right about that. So, um, yeah. So it is. I'm not bashing nobody that goes to the building every Sunday. I'm not bashing my father for going every Sunday. But man, I just feel like, man, you know, it's more than just going to the building. It's more than that, right? And you don't have to agree with that. You don't have to agree. You believe what you believe. You feel like you need to go to the building. That's fine. That's up to you. But I just feel like personally, man, there's some things you can still do without going to the building every Sunday. I hate that. I don't like that people. I'm not gonna use the word. Hey, I don't like that people bash other people for not going. Right. And yeah, I feel like some people may need really like at least I feel like some people that don't go. And I'm not saying everybody's like this, right? There are some people that don't go to church that be doing some stupid stuff, be doing suspicious things, and they may need to go to the building to help change their life. They may need to start there, and what I'm saying. I feel like so. I'm gonna say this though. I feel like kids growing up may need to go to the building, go to church every Sunday. They need to go to church. They need to go just to get an idea about how the word work. Kind of put that into them, put church into them, put God into their life. You know what I'm saying? So some people need to go to church, right? Don't get me wrong. Some people do need to go to church, right? Just to get them out of trouble, though. Just to get them out of trouble, right? Um, but I feel like, man, if you're doing things, if you feel like, man, you're doing everything you need to do outside of church, man, what, like no offense, what's the point of going? I can learn the word by myself. I can do this, what I'm saying? As long as I'm doing the right things, man, I'm staying out of trouble. I'm gonna continue to lock in and focus on me, knowing what my purpose is to continue to talk to God. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Continue to hang around the right people and all that. So I feel like I'll be fine. I don't need to go to church. I don't need that. I can still watch again. I can still watch it on. I can still watch church live too. You don't if you don't want to go to the, you can still watch it live too. So there's other ways you can do church outside of just going every Sunday. Okay, but guys, this is a little longer video, right? It's okay, okay, but I kind of wanted to break it down. So you don't have to agree with anything I said. You don't have to agree with anything that Malik said in his book. It's okay if you go that I'm not bashing you. Okay, all right. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Please comment of what you think of the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and I will see you guys on the next one.